This is a Suboptimal podcast. Check out our suboptimal content at suboptimal.co.
Welcome everybody to special edition episode. Is this 18.9 or is it 19.1?
It's
the
18
pre
point
to episode
something.
19.
18.5,
Okay.
whatever.
We'll call it 18.9. You know, it's a Kingdom Hearts reference. So, speaking of references, man, have you guys ever been walking down the street and then you see someone doing something, screaming some Muda garbage, and somebody says, "Holy shit, is that a motherfucking Jo-Jos Bizzare Adventure reference?"
No.
Okay.
Wait, weren't there
Well-
rules and regulations you were going to go over real
Don't
quick?
worry, I'm getting to those.
Oh, okay.
So Jo-Jos Bizzare Adventure is a very irregular show.
That's
It's
putting
very
it mildly.
weird. It's very wild. It's everything on this screen actually makes sense to me, no meme.
Great.
But it's a show. It changes its own pace all the time. It changes how it works all the time. It's hilarious. It's fun. It's interesting. It is one of the largest shows in Japan right now. Period. This is going to get confusing.
I'm super prepared.
And if it gets super confusing, you guys are welcome to ask questions. You're welcome to stop me at any time and say, "Excuse me, what the fuck?" And this goes for chat as well. I have both the chats up if anybody wants to ask some questions about what's going on. I do also have a laser pointer, so we're good.
Wait, no, do that again. I need to see this. Oh my god, I love it. That's amazing. Well done.
It's in Google Drive, so I found out about it today, and I was like,
Do
cool.
you see why I got pizza?
Oh yeah, no, Copper's prepared for this. All right,
Copper's
guys.
ready to eat food while recording audio.
This is
Great.
the dumbest thing we're ever gonna do. All right,
What I'm doing currently.
welcome to Jo-Jos Bizzare Adventure Part 1, The Phantom Blood. All right, Episode 1. So this drunk motherfucker, right? Basically we show up and there's this carriage that overturns. It's got some rich people in it. And this guy is like, "Yo, that's a carriage that's turned over. I'm gonna rob it." His name is Dario Brando. He's important.
Gotcha.
And so he goes up and he's like, "Look, the wife is dead. Everybody else must be dead." So he goes in and tries to start pillaging. And then the father of the family is like, "Oh my God, you're here to save us." And he's like, I am? "Oh, thank God you're here. My family is super rich. We'll do anything for you." You will? So, the father's name is George. He has been saved. The son's name is Jonathan. We'll talk about him later. And so Dario Brando goes out, and basically about a bunch of years later, he's lying on his deathbed, and his son's sitting there looking at him, and his son's like, "Wow, you kind of suck." And he's like, "Yeah, here, it's my dying wish. Go give this letter to the Joestars because they're super rich, and they said they'd take care of you if something happened to me because I accidentally saved them when I was trying to rob them 18 years ago." So now he sends his son Dio. I'm sure you've heard that name before. It's a band. You know,
Yep.
Ronnie
Yep.
James Dio. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, because, hey, musical references are those happen a lot. Man. So, send to Dio. So, on the left here, you have Dio Brando,
Gotcha.
who is one of our main characters. And on the right here, you have Jonathan. I did want to pull up a better picture to show exactly how much Jonathan's head compares to his body. I think this picture was pretty good.
Uh-huh.
I did have to pull it up on the side. Notice his very small head and his massively large body.
Okay.
It's important to me that you understand this. Now, we're going to keep moving.
Okay.
So Dio hates Jonathan for literally no reason. Now, we don't know why. Also, hey, so Jonathan Joestar, the first two letters of his first name is Joe. The last two letters of his first name is Joe. What do you think his nickname is?
Steve.
That's right. That's right. It's JoJo. So Dio's like, "Yo, none of your friends like you anymore because I'm cooler because I'm blonde." And then he kicks the dog, and then he goes up to Jonathan's girlfriend and he steals her first kiss directly in front of him, and then mocks him about it. And then Jonathan gets very, very angry about this when they're back at the house, and he punches Dio so hard that Dio bleeds a little bit, and there's a mask on the floor, and when blood lands on it, tentacles sprout out. This is important later.
Out of the mask.
Yes, out of the mask. Tentacles sprout out like they would stick into somebody's face. Then Dio kills Jonathan's dog, and Jonathan definitely knows that Dio killed it, and it's really sad. The entire first episode sucks because it's Dio just ruining Jonathan over and over and over again. All right, welcome to episode 2. That's all that happened is Dio's a bad guy, Jonathan's a good guy, and Dio's dad sucks and died because he was sick. So 7 years later, both the boys are in college on the rugby team. They are friends now, apparently. 7 years later, George Joestar starts becoming sick. He has the same exact sickness that Dario Brando came down with suddenly before he died. Anybody can see where this is going. Does anybody know who killed Dario Brando and who is currently attempting to kill George Joestar? This is interactive. Does anybody have a guess?
Is it JoJo?
It was me, Dio. I needed to throw that meme in there somewhere.
I thought that Dio's
the bad guy who.
I thought he was dead though. His
dad is dead.
I thought it was Dio.
Brando is dead.
Oh,
Dio
Dario and Dio and okay, so Dio killed
Dio killed
brother?
the dog, and Dio killed his own dad.
Makes sense.
Because he didn't like his dad, and he's trying to kill George Joestar because JoJo's dad was like, "Yeah, you're my son, so you'll get inheritance." So he's trying to kill the dad and get all the inheritance money, because that's the normal thing to do. Because Dio's a psychopath.
Okay.
All right. So now Jonathan's like, "Yo, I'm gonna go get a doctor." I'm sorry. It starts with Dio saying, "We can't go to the hospital. All the doctors are only there for money. They won't heal anybody." And to be fair, this is the 1800s. Doctors sucked back then. Yes, it's the 1800s. Don't worry. We'll get back to that. So Jonathan, or JoJo at this point, but only the first JoJo, which I'll explain later. He's like, "I'm going to go get a doctor. So I need to go to London." So he goes to Ogre Street in London, where Jack the Ripper is. And they keep saying that Jack the Ripper is there for no reason. I don't know why, but like every time they're like, "It's London. Jack the Ripper is at the height of his terror." I don't know why. Nobody really knows why, but Jack the Ripper's there. Basically, he's walking down the street. Ogre Street is supposed to be the scariest street. And a bunch of thugs pop out and they're like, "Yo, I'm going to kill you." And JoJo's like, "You shouldn't though, because I'm a gentleman." I'm not even kidding. Then they say, "Yeah, but we're going to kill you anyways." And one of them throws a hat that has knives on it. And he dodges it. No, don't worry. When I tell you his name, then you're going to be like, okay. And he dodges it. And then like this whole gang, like 20 plus people are about to attack him. And the dude who threw the hat is like, "Wait, he's an actual gentleman. We should help him." Not kidding. That man's name is Speedwagon, and he is the internet's waifu. He is the best girl of the entire first part. His name is literally Speedwagon.
Okay.
And in the manga, he does actually have a Speedwagon. So now Speedwagon here is like, "I'm going to take you to go get the best doctor ever." And they go get the doctor, and they start heading back. Now, we're going to cut over to Dio. Dio has that little mask, right?
The one that sprouts tentacles.
The one that spouts tentacles. And he knows that like blood will make the tentacles spout. And he wants to kill JoJo. So he takes that mask. Let's put a picture of it there, because I want you guys to know what it looks like. He puts the mask on a homeless dude and puts blood and gets the homeless dude's blood on it, and the tentacles stick in his head. And he's like, "Nice. This is gonna kill JoJo for sure." Then he turns his back, and the homeless dude stands up. He's like, "Yo, what are you doing?" "Dude, man, stop. I killed you already." And he's like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna eat you." He's like, "Why? Why do you want to eat me? You're a person." And he's like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna eat you." And then the sun comes up and it kills him. Does anybody know the equation, even though it's on the screen? It's mask plus blood plus person equals vampire. Congratulations.
So when you kill somebody with the tentacle mask, they become a vampire. Okay.
Yep, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has become a vampire show. Don't worry, it won't stay that way for long.
Woo, Twilight.
Okay.
I forgot I called episode 3. Oh, shit. So JoJo and Waifu Wagon go back to the mansion and bring up some lawyer shit about how Dio should go to jail for killing 2 dads. And they like, JoJo's like super like oblivious to everything. He's like, "No, Dio's like, okay, I'm sure." And Speedwagon's like, "No, he's not giving your dad the medicine. That's why your dad's dying. Your dad's dying because he poisoned him in the first place. This man is evil. We got to kill him." And then Dio puts on the mask and becomes a vampire and eats everyone except JoJo and Speedwagon. Speedwagon saves JoJo, and that like everybody dies. The mansion burns down. That's pretty much it. That's like we're done here. Like, all right, now we're about to talk about this hunk of man. So, what the fuck is a Hamon? All right. So Jonathan wakes up with his actual waifu. I just put a note that this picture is not his actual waifu.
Oh, okay.
This is William A. Zeppeli, who walks up to JoJo and starts selling him the Kool-Aid of Hamon. JoJo drinks that Kool-Aid and starts learning to fight vampires. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what is Hamon? Now, I copy-pasted the Wikipedia page for it because I was really lazy. The ripple, or Hamon, which is how it's said, is an energy used in the ancient form of martial arts Sendo. Through self-controlled respiration, a trained person can produce an energy manifesting as ripples throughout their body, as is identical to the energy of the sun and polar opposite energy exerted by vampires, zombies, and pillarmen. Don't worry about the pillarmen. We'll get to them later. Now, the ripple energy is exactly identical to the sun's rays, which the human body can produce through controlled breathing, having the effect of producing ripples of energy propagating from the bloodstream to the rest of the body and other objects in contact with it. The ripple manifests itself as electricity-like sparks and can be seen by ordinary humans. The ripple can also affect non-living things. An object charged with the ripple energy will have one or several attributes enhanced by the energy, making it a more effective tool or weapon. Liquids conduct the ripple especially well, and the user's ripple shows on liquids and actually ripples. It is mentioned by Joseph that objects covered in oil can conduct ripple much easier. However, while all materials can conduct ripple more or less, inorganic materials such as metal cannot store the energy, which simply passes it through. Water, good. Breathing, necessary. Solid, bad. Welcome to Hamon. He punches a frog.
Okay.
I don't know, man. It happens. Frog punch happens. Part skippers don't get that, but now you guys do. You're welcome. So Dio makes an army of ghouls that includes Jack the Ripper. They keep mentioning Jack the Ripper for no reason.
He's important.
No. Then Zeppeli, your dude with the top hat who's giving him the Kool-Aid is like, yo, go into this cave with this glass of wine. Don't spill a drop. And Jack the Ripper's in there. And he kills him in like 3 episodes, in like 3 seconds. Not 3 episodes. I'm sorry. This isn't Dragon Ball. So they kill him like super quick. Like they kept building up Jack the Ripper for no reason. And they're like, hey, you know what's bad? Dio. You know who we should kill? Dio. Let's go kill Dio in Wind Knight's Lot, which is a village with a castle. So they head there. Episode 5, it's a trap. Immediately they get pickpocketed. And they chase the pickpocket into a graveyard where there's a vampire nearby, which is genius. Dio can apparently mind control because why the fuck not? And he mind controls the pickpocket named Poco to lure the boys into the trap. Crazy shit. Dio can freeze hands and destroy Hammond, leaving Zeppeli sad and useless. Waifu Wagon helps him a bit. JoJo does some crazy Turkish blue overdrive and can't even kill the final boss. So he totally forgot that he had a sword on it that had luck. So he put a P on it so it says pluck because he's a plucky guy. It's really dumb. There's 2 really big dudes that Dio summoned, so he kills one of them with the sword. Because he's cool. No, I'm sorry. He just kills a dude with a sword because he's cool. Then JoJo and Paco use a hang glider to escape because that makes sense. And then Zeppeli gives unnecessary backstory about how he learned Hamon from Tom Petty. Can anybody guess what rock band Tom Petty is? Anybody?
Traveling Wilburys.
The Heartbreakers.
That one's close. What?
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
No, the answer was Led Zeppelin. So, seriously, what the fuck are the writers on? It's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Oh, okay. Okay. Right.
Yeah, it's Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, but like, what?
They land in a knight's training ground to fight the last boss, a big knight named Tarkus. That's his picture. They've been fighting him the whole time, but at this point, he still exists, so we gave him a name. They get into a chain neck death match. That's the wording, where one of them has to die.
But
they're basically just
neck death match.
I'll just let you imagine it in your head because it's probably better than anything I could spin you.
Is it tug of war with chains around their neck to try to hang each other?
Pretty much. The pickpocket from earlier saves the day by climbing through a window and saving JoJo. This fight goes into the next episode and is 3 episodes long. See why we're doing a PowerPoint instead of viewing. Holy shit. Episode 7. For the first time since episode 3, things happen. Zeppeli's unnecessary backstory foretold of him dying here. He dies here.
Gotcha.
He gives Goku the spirit bomb energy to kill Frieza first. I mean, he gives the Hammond energy to kill Tarkus. Yeah, that one. Speedwagon then takes Zeppeli's hat before his body is even cold because it was a pretty cool hat. If we scroll backwards really quick, look at that hat.
Okay. And
also, look at that hat.
Okay, so he wanted his hat. He felt like they look like they're the same hat.
It is the same hat. It is the same hat.
It's like the same hat. So like, okay, all right.
He didn't. Speedwagon didn't originally have that hat. That picture was taken after he stole the hat.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you.
All right, so we get 3 new music references. We got Tom Petty, who's on the right. He's the old dude. I have a laser pointer for this. This is Tom Petty. Mm-hmm. And then we have Dyer and Strayzo. Does anybody know what reference they're making?
Dire Straits.
Yeah, that's right. It's Dire Straits. So they came to help kill Dio. Yeah, screw Dio.
Yeah,
can we be done with this arc yet in episode 8? Dio sends some dude named Doobie. Any guesses?
Doobie Brothers.
That's right. To kidnap Pakka's sister. JoJo Squad rolls up to kill. Doobie's head is actually made of snakes.
Okay. All right.
Dude, snakes, man.
Like
but
not
JoJo's
the hair,
immune
the
to
whole head
poison.
is made of snakes.
Yeah, no, his whole head is made of snakes.
Okay.
Dang. So JoJo's immune to the poison and some. Basically, they're like, hey, you know what? We're gonna move on. We're gonna go get Dio. And now Dyer is like, I'm going to attack you, and goes to use his arms to attack it, and goes to double drop kick him. And Dio's like, oh no, and he does a thunder cross split attack, but Dio has the power to freeze his entire body and just kills him. Didn't work.
Okay.
Dio freezes and shatters. Poor Dyer, Strayzo, and Tom Petty are like, we're gonna fight the grunts. You deal with the raid boss solo to JoJo, and Dio and JoJo are actually gonna do something. Jonathan uses a sword to hurt Dio with the power of Hamon. As you can see, he's cutting him.
Yep.
He attempts to do so, but in the version, the ice is super effective against steel, and Dio freezes the sword and makes it worthless. So Jonathan sets his fists on fire and then punches Dio into oblivion. Lol. Because Dio's definitely dead. And then this is Happily Ever After Phantom Blood Edition. So Dio's dead. We did it, everybody. Super good. Team J destroys the mask because they are smart. Jonathan marries Arena, and they're about to leave on their honeymoon to America. There was a doctor who was with Dio the entire time and was helping him poison stuff, and he shows up on the boat. And JoJo's putting stuff together. He's like, I think Dio might still be there. So Jonathan starts to blow up the ship because he can, and he's scared. But there's a coffin with Dio in it, but it's just Dio's head that exists alive because he's still a vampire. And the decapitated Dio's head steals Jonathan's body by taking his head off of it.
Wait, hold on. How does the head remove Jonathan's body?
It shoots tentacles out of itself.
So is Jonathan dead at this point?
Jonathan's very dead at this point.
Was he dead before this point?
No, he was not dead before this point. Once his
Okay,
head was
so
removed from his body,
Dio killed Jonathan with tentacles because he's a tentacle vampire?
So Dio was essentially just a head at this point. Like the veins
Right.
and stuff came out of his neck and like
Right.
ripped off Jonathan's head and then put his head on it.
Okay. All right. Understood.
Then JoJo's
So
wife
does Jonathan now have an equivalent sized head now? That's the main question.
it's relatively more equal.
Okay, great. I remember you being concerned. So there you go.
His waifu jumps into Dio's old coffin because why not? And there's like a small little girl with her as well that she's taking care of, that she's saving from all the explosives. And the coffin is obviously bomb-proof, and she is saved somewhere near the Canary Islands.
Coffin obviously bomb-proofed. Gotcha.
Obviously bomb-proof. The to-be-continued meme is from JoJo's Bizzare Adventure, so we put it at the end of the first arc. That's the entire first season of JoJo's Bizzare Adventure, everybody.
Okay, that's not that wasn't that long actually.
We're halfway done.
Oh, wow.
It's a lie, because we're not actually halfway done.
I think that one is the long one. Oof. So this one is called Battle Tendency. This is actually my favorite part. I actually really like JoJo's Bizzare Adventure Part 2.
Okay.
Joseph, who is the main character, is the best JoJo. Period. This one also has a lot of weird stuff going on. So we're gonna see. You might have more questions for this one. So we'll see. Also, if you can call out the music references as they happen, that'll be extra points for the quiz at the end.
Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
In sync.
There is actually a Spice Girls reference in part 5. No meme.
Okay.
Part
5. Okay.
Part 5 is currently live. All right.
Gotcha.
So it's 1938, the perfect time to start a political revolution in a European country.
Sure.
Speedwagon is a rich oil tycoon because why not? And Speedwagon's like, hey, yo, Straizo, can you come help me out in Mexico? I found this tomb and there's a bunch of those masks there. And a perfectly preserved body, and we don't know why. Fun fact, Straizo wants immortality, so he steals the masks and uses it on himself after killing Speedwagon's team, but not Speedwagon. Actually, yeah, Speedwagon's dead, sorry. Meanwhile, in New York, so this is Jonathan's grandson, who is Joseph Joestar, who is also JoJo. And he uses Hamon to save a pickpocket named Smokey Brown from some racist cops because dude was brown and it's the 40s and everybody's racist, or 30s, sorry. Later, while dealing with a mafia henchman at a restaurant, no context. Joseph, Arina, his grandmother, and Jonathan's original waifu, and Smokey, who just is along for the ride at this point, meet a mafia acquaintance of Speedwagon's because that makes sense, who tells them that everything went down in Mexico and Speedwagon is dead. So they gotta go to Mexico. Straizo shows up to kill Joseph because the only person who uses Hamon, and Joseph pulls out a Tommy gun and just kind of shoots him. Because, you know, as you can see, he is holding the Tommy gun in this picture. I didn't realize that until just now, but...
Okay.
So Straizo obviously recovers because bullets don't kill vampires and shoots him with some eye lasers.
Vampires have eye lasers now?
Don't worry about it. Joseph uses some good old American grenades to blow him up, and Straizo has a fancy scarf that removes damage from Hamon, so it doesn't really do anything. Joseph bests Straizo, and Straizo then kills himself with Hamon because he can still use that power, and then he starts talking about some Pillar Men and about how, like, they're going to show you the true meaning of evolution and about how we're going to move on to the future and all that unkillable stuff. So, meanwhile in Mexico, this hunk of German engineering is Rudolf von Stroheim. Yeah, I want to point out he's German. Is 1938. Let's do the math. So he's interrogating Speedwagon, who is not dead. And he starts asking about the masks and the Pillar Men trying to improve German military strength because, you know, World War II.
Yeah.
World War II hasn't started yet at this point, but so they're trying to build an army of like vampires for Germany. So they do all of that. And Joseph starts heading to Mexico to see what's all about with these Pillar people. And meanwhile, he's being followed by some strange assassin. Jojo then dresses up like a girl to try to sneak into the military base. As you can see, it's a very convincing disguise. He just walks up and says, I have tequila, boys. Do you want to come hang with me?
Well done. Did it work?
It doesn't work.
Oh. Spoilers.
So episode 12, no more music references. Yay! So Joseph is attacked by this dude named Donovan, who is an assassin sent by von Stroheim. Donovan dies because that's a thing. Stroheim then decides to sacrifice a bunch of soldiers and awaken the Pillar Man, who he names Santana.
Wait, you literally just said there was no more music references.
I lied.
He lied.
You're a liar.
Santana straight up absorbs a German vampire and calls out Stroheim. It's important to note here that the wall where they found him and all of these masks was completely enclosed and locked like a cell because they didn't want him to get out. So he twists his body into the size of like an atom and escapes because he can.
Makes sense.
And he gets really mad at von Stroheim because he was woken up early. He then steps into another soldier who's there and wears him as a skin suit and uses him to kill the other soldiers. But plot twist, one of the German soldiers was JoJo the whole time. and he confronts Santana and tells him, "Yo, I got the power of Hamon. Yo, what's up, my dude?" And Joseph starts like making memes at him, and he really is not about that. Santana does not like it, so he starts absorbing JoJo. He like starts taking his arm and absorbing it through him. But JoJo's smart, and he uses Hamon to cut Santana in half because he's clever. Now, Joseph tries to get outside the door. He starts running, but Santana's grabbing him. He's not letting him. Stroheim tries to open the door, but Santana hops into his body instead. Stroheim tells Joseph about, this isn't the only Pillar Man. We found 3 more of these in Rome. You got to take care of this because we can't stop this ourselves. And then he pulls a pin on the grenade, and his superior German engineering is no more. Santana doesn't die from the grenade because, as we all know, that doesn't work. However, Santana sees the sun and dies, or he turns to stone. You know,
cool. Not actually dead. Are they gonna turn him from stone at some point?
No. He's gone. He's not coming back. Santana said GG and went out. All right, so we're a little over halfway done.
I thought you said this was 74 pages.
This is episode wise.
Oh.
And even then, we're on there. Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay.
So Speedwagon, right? He takes Santana's remains to Washington, D.C. to watch over them, and Joseph leaves for Rome. And in Rome, he meets Caesar Zeppeli, who is this hunk of man meat, who is Will A. Zeppeli's grandson.
He looks like he would be in one of those old 80s Barbie movies. Or 90s.
That's
Barbie
like the
movies.
entire aesthetic of
like
this.
The cartoons? Okay. Have you guys ever seen one of those?
This season.
My sister used to have Barbie does like a space concert or some shit. I don't know.
That's not as weird as Jo-Jos Bizzare Adventure, but I'm going to call it out for being...
I feel that it was Dale who actually had this.
No.
I agree with you. All right. So Caesar and Joseph hate each other for no reason. Cool. And they immediately fight each other.
Good. Sounds about right.
And then after fighting, they're like, yeah, all right, you're okay. And Caesar gets Joseph in Speedwagon, who's there the entire time. Like, this is like 80-year-old Speedwagon just chilling. He gets them to the Coliseum to go look at the Pillar Men. Because the Coliseum shows up in every single JoJo's Bizzare Adventure, apparently. That's just a joke. The Coliseum is the most recent waypoint in the current series. Insert Aztec dubstep. All right. So we walk into there, and guess who decides to wake up? It's Wamu, Pillar Man.
Not a Wham reference.
It is a Wham reference.
I don't believe you.
It is actually a Wham
I know.
reference.
I was kidding. That was a joke.
He then kills all of the Germans and wakes up the other 2, who are SDC.
Yep, that was obvious. And
that one's really fun though, just because they spell it out. And Cars.
Yeah.
There was some dude named like Mike or Matt who was with them the entire time who dies at this point. And Caesar gets really mad, but nobody else cares. Like he was literally not. He was such a small footnote in the story that I didn't include him except for this line. Caesar decides to mercy kill his friend because he's in pain because these Pillar Man who are super cool are they're doing bad things. Also, there is Aztec dubstep for this. I would give you an audio visual reference, but I feel like the PowerPoint is enough. And also you can't get Aztec dubstep from me to Vengeance, so it's recorded. Now, moving on. Episode 15, we're gonna nerf Hamon. We're at that point in the updates where Tuesday patch nerfs Hamon. So Caesar,
everybody's gonna bitch on Twitter, and we're all gonna look like dickheads.
But then next season they're gonna bring up something that's even better than Hamon, and everyone's not gonna be mad anyways. That's a joke, but it's also actually really relevant.
It really is. It really is true.
All right. So we said before that water carries Hamon really well. Caesar's entire plan is to shoot bubbles that are covered in Hamon. I'm not kidding. He shoots bubbles. That's his main method of attack, and it's great.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Wamu has none of that shit and pops all of the bubbles using his wind powers.
I feel like it wouldn't be very difficult to pop a bunch of bubbles.
Especially with wind powers. And this hurts Caesar and makes him temporarily blind in one eye. Now, Jonathan is like, yo, loser. You think you can kill these pillar men with bubbles? These immortal gods with bubbles? Nah, man. Here's 2 balls on a string, and I'm going to spin them really fast.
Makes sense.
So Jonathan actually hits Wham in the face, but Wham's not happy, and he shoots a Darude sandstorm at JoJo that almost kills him. It is called a divine sandstorm, but we're going to call them Darude sandstorms for the entire time because it's way funnier. So then Joseph, doing the best thing that he ever does, starts... there's actually a gimmick that he does. He says, your next line will be blank, and then the person says that line because he's great, and he's the best JoJo. So he starts like distracting him and playing games with them, and then Caesar and Speedwagon get away, you know, Caesar running and Speedwagon, you know, wheeling his wheelchair rapidly and aggressively. It's a joke he doesn't have a wheelchair at this point.
Mhm.
What is this show at this point? So Joseph tricks Whammu to get onto a minecart, and they go onto an adventure. They do not find diamonds on this adventure.
Is that a Minecraft joke?
That is a Minecraft joke. So Whammu is like, Whammu's gonna kill Joseph. He's like, you're done. I got you cornered. You're dead. And Goku, Joseph pulls a Goku, and he's like, I'll be stronger in a month, Cell. Don't you want to fight me then? And that worked. Except Whammu kind of poisons him and is like, hey, in 33 days, you're going to die. And then AC/DC is like, hey, we're doing drugs. Let's do drugs together. And also poisons JoJo.
Oh, God.
And so basically, I'm not even kidding. Whammu reaches into JoJo's neck and puts a ring around his vein that will release poison in 33 days. And then AC/DC places one around his windpipe. And they both have the antidote in their facial piercings. One of them has a nose piercing. One of them has a lip piercing. And that's where the antidotes are. And Caesar also likes JoJo now for no reason. And I just decided to put in this meme. Joseph Joestar. If I had a nickel for every time I had a venomous wedding ring placed inside my body by an ancient Aztec vampire, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's a weird thing that it's happened twice. I thought that one would be good. All right, so time for us to meet Lisa Squared. So Caesar takes us to meet the least important character, Lisa, who is his Hamon teacher. Does anybody know the reference of Lisa?
No.
The reference is Lisa.
Oh, okay. Is that a band or a singer?
Singer.
Okay, all right. Never heard of her.
So Joseph has to wear this mask over his face to better his breathing, because breathing is the most important part of him on. It's exactly like weighted clothing in Dragon Ball Z. See all of the like parallels I'm drawing for no reason. So then basically Lisa kicks him and Caesar into this giant pit that's got oil all on the sides, like just running down. So like, you can't climb up because it's super slick. And she's like, climb up, losers. Now, JoJo and Caesar are like, how do we do this? Then they realize they can use their Hamon to hold the oil still. And they can use that to climb up a la Spider-Man.
Wait, so they figure out they can basically climb up like liquids?
Water. Yeah.
They use their powers to turn liquids into something. Okay.
Yes. No, just roll with it.
Gotcha.
It's a little bizarre.
Okay. I mean, the whole show's probably bizarre.
It's a really bizarre adventure. So, like a day later, they make it to the top. Like, it actually takes 24 hours. That's the entire episode.
Okay.
She then brings out her servants, Melissa and Loggins. Yeah, Loggins. That one's easy. All right, welcome to episode 17. What could possibly go wrong? Now, at this point, Lisa points out that Cars, the head of the Pillarmen, wants the super perfectly cut red stone that he can use with the stone mask to become a perfect being. A stone that her assistant, Susie Q, who becomes important later, just has for some reason. We then fast forward exactly 26 days. So JoJo only has 7 days before he gets poisoned and dies.
Okay, so at this point, I have what happens in 26 days if he beats the other person? Does he get the antidote?
So he needs to defeat both AC/DC and Whamu and get their piercings and consume the antidotes that are hidden inside of them.
Okay. Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It should.
Okay. It should. Okay. Well,
so he has 7 days before he gets poisoned and dies. Caesar and JoJo are told to fight Melissa and Loggins respectively. So JoJo goes up to fight Loggins, who is our new favorite character because he's named after Kenny Loggins, and Loggins is already dead before he even has a voice line. He was killed by AC/DC, who is there. JoJo uses a trap to cut off AC/DC's arm, and after some more fighting, is able to get the antidote of one of the poisons. So then next episode, because nothing really happens. AC/DC takes over the body of Suzy Q because he can, and sends the Super Aha on a boat to Venice. Caesar and Joseph double team the Madman to get him out of Suzy Q's body and into sunlight to kill him. He literally wears her body like a skin suit so that the sunlight doesn't kill him. It's really weird. Suzy Q tells everyone that the stone was sent to St. Moritz in Switzerland because she knows that, but they show up there and they say to themselves, I didn't expect the Third Reich to show up, because that's the best line in the entire show, is I didn't expect the Third Reich to show up. So the Germans came to get the Super Aha themselves because they want super soldiers, and the Germans casually invite them all into their lodge to hang out and have drinks. And while they're all hanging out and having drinks, Cars attacks the lodge looking for the Super Aha. So you guys remember Stroheim from the very beginning, right? Do I need to go back?
No.
I remember him kind of, sort of. You mentioned him.
All right, we're gonna go back real quick.
Yes, I remember the
This
German man who
dude.
blows himself up with a grenade.
Yeah, superior German engineering. Now, so you remember Stroheim?
No,
Well,
he didn't actually blow
glowed
himself
up
up.
because this is him now.
Oh. Okay. How? Gotcha.
Now he's actually engineered.
So this guy has like a machine gun chest, like he's like a
And a
cyborg.
laser eye. Like,
And a
look at
laser
this
eye.
setup.
Okay,
That's crazy.
alright.
That's hot. That's hot. So this is now Stroheim.
What
our
a
new-
pose as well.
Dude, JoJo's
There's a
Bizarre
lot of
Adventure
this in
has
that
the
show.
best poses.
There's a lot of these types of poses. It's
Wonderful.
Yeah, they're all like the best poses. So Stroheim comes back, and Stroheim's body was built to defeat Santana, but Santana is, dead. But so he's gonna fight Cars, but he is no match for Cars, who now has chainsaws for arms.
What?
Did
Okay.
I stutter?
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry. That was so perfect. For the people listening to the audio portion, I actually had a plot point that says "Did I stutter?" and I started circling it. So
It's pretty good.
so Cars cuts down Stroheim, literally,
With
and
his
he goes to grab
chainsaw
the
arms.
stone, but Stroheim shoots a laser made out of UV light at him because, dude, I don't know what the writer was on, but he was having a great time. So Cars and JoJo both go to grab the Super Aha, but Cars falls off a cliff and takes JoJo with him to try to kill him and get revenge for AC/DC, who they have killed. Now, Joseph is able to string together a bunch of icicles to prevent himself from falling by using the powers of Hamon. As you can see by the title of this page, this is getting out of hand. Caesar wants to go follow Cars and ambush him, but Joseph doesn't really want to fight on Cars' home turf. Caesar throws a fit and fights Joseph, and then storms off to the abandoned hotel that Cars is staying at. Messina follows him at Lisa's request, then she starts laying on the backstory. Caesar's dad left him, so obviously what do you do when your dad leaves you? You start doing crime. Also, this episode is titled "Let's Finish a Character" arc. See if you can guess what happens. Caesar's dad then dies protecting him from a trap set up by the Pillarmen and instructs him to learn Hamon from Lisa. Caesar's dad also doesn't know who he is. Like, he was actually like super out of it and had no idea who he was. So now we cut back to the present time because screw the backstory that I just gave you.
Wait.
You have any questions?
So this is all in the past.
Yeah,
Is
that's
season
that's all in the
3 when
past.
it comes? Is season 3 actually here now? Then
Season 3 is like 10 years ago.
okay,
I think season 3 is like 10 or 20 years ago. Like they get relatively recent.
okay.
And they do slow down with the progression because it stops being everybody's grandson. So, then back in the present, because we're gonna hop back there, Caesar and Messina are confronted by Wammu, who decides to start fighting Caesar.
He
Because-
decides to fart. No, you heard it.
Yeah,
so many
definitely.
farts.
I
He
definitely
farts.
flubbed a word there. That's my bad.
I mean,
So,
I do it every day.
Caesar and Messina are confronted by Wammu, who decides to start fighting Caesar because Messina's just not even worth it. Wammu then wounds Messina and drags him into the hotel to lure Caesar in because they were outside the front. There's a lot of bubble and a lot of wind because Wammu's power is wind and Caesar's power is bubbles. Guess which one wins?
The wind.
The wind wins.
We
yeah.
kind of covered this earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Who did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? Nah. So when basically Caesar dies, but before he dies, he steals the piercing from Wammu and puts it in a bubble and sets it to float. The bubble is covered in Hamon and it's made out of Caesar's own blood because that's the only liquid he could find. So the idea is that Wammu wouldn't be able to touch it, but Wammu can obviously pop it by just using wind. But Wammu sees this as like a strong act that he's making in sacrifice that Joseph can live, and he respects it and just lets it happen. He's just like, you know what? That was a bold move. I respect you. I'm going to let your friend live, and he can come fight me, and we'll have the epic duel of the century.
So rather than win, he lets JoJo live to then probably kill him later.
Yes.
See, that's where you fucked up.
Yeah.
It's Goku, dude.
All right.
So Lisa and Joseph run into a vampire named Wired Beck, who Lisa smashes with her scarf. They then find Wammu and Cars.
Smashes
as well
with a
as, like,
scarf. Okay.
Yeah, she's got a scarf full of Hammond. They find Wammu and Cars as well as like 100 vampire minions. But before they attack, Lisa says that she has a time bomb that will explode the Super Aha if they do. She's lying. They arrange to fight at midnight with Cars and Wammu. And the Cars and Wammu are going to keep Lisa as insurance. So Joseph's like, I'm going to go look for the Super Aha, and I'm going to bring it back, and we're going to fight. Because that was the deal. He goes and gets a Super Aha. They hold on to Lisa. And while he's doing that, he finds a picture of his grandmother, Irina, Strezzo, Speedwagon, and some random child. Hey, kids, you ready for a plot twist? More unnecessary backstory. All right. So Lisa was that kid that Irina saved on the boat, if we want to go all the way back to like page 12 or something. I don't know.
Okay.
There was a child that was in the coffin with Irina when she escaped, and that was Lisa. Irina was also pregnant at that point in time and gave birth to a George Joestar. Lisa was adopted by Strezzo and taught the Ripple Hammond technique, which is super fun, and that's how she got super good at it because Strezzo was actually like the last old master. She married George Joestar II because the first JoJo's dad was named George, and Joseph was her son. George was killed by one of his superior officers in the English Air Force, who was one of Dio's vampires. He figured out that one of his superior officers was a vampire and was like, yo, I'm going to go kill him with Hamon. But he sucks at Hamon, so he dies. And Lisa then kills her husband's killer because she was actually good at Hamon. Now we cut back to Joseph and Wammu about to do a battle to the death, and they decided to flip a coin, and it's a chariot race. There haven't been pictures in like 5 slides.
What year is this?
This is 1938.
Why the fuck is there a chariot race?
Did I stutter?
There's a chariot race.
They literally built a chariot race, like a coliseum. I'm not even kidding. It's great.
There's always a coliseum. We went over this.
There's always a coliseum. There's not always a coliseum. It's literally only the 2nd and the 5th parts, but I can make the joke because it was in the last episode. Hey, Brofish, thank you for the host. Welcome to Jo-Jos Bizzare PowerPoint.
That's really what we should call this too.
Oh,
did you not?
I
Wait,
can.
1 sec. What
I
page
totally
am
could.
on?
I'll call it episode
56.
18.9 Jo-Jos
I
Bizzare
meant
I
the
called it
episode.
JoJo's Bizarre PowerPoint.
I
Oh,
know. I meant
fuck!
the episode.
I'll do it. I'm in. I will
Uh,
definitely do that.
Okay.
Look at how bi infamous.
One sec. Can you just like cut this out of the recording really quick?
Probably, yeah.
Whatever. As Jen thanks for the host. 60K. We got 60K for Guardian Con, guys.
Woo.
Oh, for stuff like this, I only cut it out of the audio portion. I'll leave it in the video rather than have like a
Yeah,
hard cut.
no,
Oh, yeah,
it's fine. I'm talking specifically about the audio. Like even on the stream, you can see what's going on in my chat.
Yeah.
And
So-
Kevin has to shave. Woo.
Kevin is shaving the beard.
Oh man. Okay, so guys, really quick, we're doing JoJo's Bizarre PowerPoint. We're on episode 22 or 23 out of 26. There will be a quiz at the end for them. They are not prepared for it because it doesn't involve anything that is in this. It's literally just name matching.
I say that Jones takes the quiz as well because she's new. I just see her snuck into the room there.
All right, absolutely. The first three questions will be multiple choice, and then the final question will be it'll also be multiple choice. Like they'll all be easy. So or relatively easy if you want to guess. Ask Jones, hey, you want to take a quiz? You want to take the JoJo's quiz at the end because it'll be fun. So cut back to Joseph and Wemma. They're about to do a chariot race because that's the thing.
Why?
There
I
haven't been
don't
pictures
understand
in
it.
like 5 slides. I apologize. So the rules are stated. They have this giant coliseum, and at the end of every single lap, there is a weapon at the end. And whoever gets to the end of the lap first gets to grab the weapon and use it. So obviously, Joseph, before the race even starts, he starts throwing rubble under Whamu's wheels because they're chariots with like horses. So like they can get real stuck real easy. And he gets stuck. So Joseph finishes the lap first, and there's a pillar in the middle with a sledgehammer, and he grabs the sledgehammer. He's like, yeah. Then Whamu drives by and he grabs the pillar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems fair.
Whamu just grabs the pillar. He's kind of like, fuck this. And he just destroys Joseph, knocks him off. And he only barely doesn't get trampled by using the sledgehammer on Whamu's horses. Whamu tries to hide inside his horses' bodies because, as we all know, he can wear people like skin suits. Why can't he do it with horses? And then he tries to use Darude Sandstorm on JoJo again, but JoJo pulls out his Uno reverse card and uses Hamo to use the Darude against Whamu instead. So Whamu instead is now blind because he's been blinded by Darude Sandstorm. So he grows a horn out of his head. I wasn't kidding.
Yeah.
This fight is a little ridiculous. So now at the next lap, there's 2 crossbows. There's a really, really big crossbow and there's a really little crossbow. So Joseph, needing to compensate because he got his balls removed like 4 episodes ago. That's a joke. Back to when the Pillarman destroyed his balls on string. He grabs the big crossbow and he's like, yo, I'm going to use the big crossbow. It's too big for him to use. He's not strong enough. But the Wind Boy gets the small crossbow and he starts shooting homing shots pretty much that are knocking Joseph off his chariot because the chariot wasn't destroyed, just mostly destroyed. But so Joseph gets knocked off and he uses that momentum to cock back that. And then he uses Hamon to empower his shot and shoots it directly at Whamu. Whamu makes a desperate last minute attempt by shooting his arms at Joseph to choke him out.
Wait.
I wasn't kidding.
His arms come off?
His arms come off. Rocket choke.
His arms
I
came
can
off.
choke. Did this ever happen before this episode? Did we have any
Nope.
idea? Oh, okay. So they
He
were
also
just
didn't grow a horn before this episode. Do you see why I was really excited to do this PowerPoint?
so stupid.
It's very good. That's also why this show, like, I'm quick aside. That's why this show is fun. Is because it can be ridiculous. Like, the people who like it don't like it because it's some like incredible, overwhelming story. It's just fun. It's different as ridiculous. And the art styles are always really unique. Because the art styles decide to change every part for no reason. So episode 23, final attack mode. So final attack mode is a thing, and Whamu has one, and he shoots a super strong wind slice at Joseph. Joseph then tries to defeat Whamu with a firebomb, but it doesn't work, and then attacks him with Caesar's bandana, which he stole off of Caesar's dead body before Caesar was even cold, and he tries to whip him with it while the bandana's on fire. And Waymo destroys the bandana because it's a bandana. But the bandana was covered in oil, and Waymo inhales a bunch of that oil and all the embers, and he kind of just blows up from the inside. Waymo, being an immortal Pillar Man god, is kind of just chilling, slowly dying. Just slowly dying. And realizing that Waymo's going to die, Joseph let some blood out and let him drink some of that blood to just ease some of that suffering, make it a little bit easier. Because, you know, he showed respect to Caesar, so we're going to show respect to him. So the fighting continued because that's where we're at this point. Basically, Lisa squares up against Cars and seems to be doing pretty well. And surprise, it was just a vampire body double the entire time. And Cars was behind her the entire time. And he screams, "Omae moi shinderu." Lisa screams "Nani" and gets hit. Cars then sends the hundreds of vampires after Joseph, but nobody expects the German Inquisition. Basically, the entire Third Reich shows up with a bunch of UV lights and starts placing them all over the battlefield. So this is Stroheim. We got Speedwagon and the Speedwagon organization, because there's an organization apparently. Smokey, that pickpocket from the beginning, who was there for one scene for no reason. He's just there now.
Okay.
They all show up with UV lights and start just blasting him. Then Cars holds Lisa up over some sharp rocks and is making Joseph vulnerable, because Joseph is like, yo, they'll kill Lisa. So Joseph is stuck holding this rope that is connected to Lisa to stop Lisa from dying. He sets his scarf on fire and says that he'll finish the fight before the scarf stops being on fire. Why? I don't know. Cars cuts the rope and then falls onto a bunch of spiky rocks and gets hit with a Hammond attack too. Speedwagon then goes into explicit detail about Lisa's past to Smokey, who has done literally nothing and not existed for 13 episodes. I want to point out at this point, Joseph doesn't know that Lisa is his mom. But the pickpocket on the street from episode 2 knows.
Isn't there also some bit where he's kind of into his mom?
He was into her for a bit. To be fair, she's pretty cute. She also looks... They make a point in the show of saying she looks way younger than she is because of using Hammond. And that, she's actually, 40, 50, something like that.
Yeah.
She's not young. Also, Joseph, does anybody want to guess his age?
16.
No.
14.
No.
22. I don't know.
No.
Why are you going down?
22. He's 18.
Okay. Yep. That's typical 18-year-old physique.
And don't worry about feeling like a grandparent trying to understand technology. This is confusing on purpose for comedy. All right. Where was I at? I went backwards.
I don't know. Cars time?
We seen that one. Cars time. There we go.
Yeah, Cars time. All right. So Speedwagon goes into detail for no reason, explaining to Smokey about Lisa, a character he has never met before and has no interactions with in the entire series. Stroheim, who's got his lasers, tries to laser beam Cars to death, but Cars puts on the mask with the red rock, and with the Firestone he evolves. So this is the last one, I promise. Episode 25. This is the end.
Okay.
So Cars has the ability to change his body on a genetic level because he has evolved into essentially a god. The sun comes up, all the vampires die, but Cars just kind of just chills there and is like. So now Joseph steals a plane because he knows how to fly.
Also, he's an 18-year-old, super jacked, knows how to fly a plane.
Oh, you're complaining about? Don't complain yet. We're not done yet with. We'll get to the whole age thing later. Also, okay. Joseph was 19.
Oh. Okay.
The tiny head, body larger than a human being. So Joseph steals a plane that he just gets from somewhere, and Cars turns into a bird to chase him, because he can. And Joseph is like, I want to drive both of us into the volcano. And he does some trickery, which is his entire gimmick and the reason that he's the best JoJo. And then Stroheim out of nowhere just shows up and forces Cars into the volcano while saving Joseph. I just wanted bird cars because that was totally necessary and you needed to see it to understand. This happened
Okay.
in the episode.
Okay. It is
All right,
basically
so I lied.
a dude
There is
with
one more episode.
like instead of arms, he just has wings.
Yeah.
Because this is a podcast. Okay.
He's also got 3 really big feathers. Now his hair is braided for no reason, and he doesn't have hands, just claws.
I didn't know his hair wasn't braided to begin with. Okay.
It wasn't. It was not. So episode 26. I lied. There is an episode 26. 25 wasn't the last one. So Cars is too cool to die in lava, right? So he starts making bubbles with his body because he can. So he's making body bubbles in the lava, which is insulating him. Then he cuts off Joseph's hand because he can. So Joseph is now missing a hand, and Cars is a bubble boy now. He's the new Caesar. So Cars goes into the backstory about how he was part of an ancient race, and he wanted to be a god, but nobody else did. They were like, we're still good here. And he was like, nah, we got to be better. And they were like, no, stop. And then they made him a pillar. They stuck him in the pillar. Cars uses Super Hammond against Joseph. Because Joseph was holding the reality stone the whole time, the stone causes the volcano to explode, which sends Cars into the upper atmosphere and freezes him to death.
Okay, so is an explosion big enough to knock the Birdman into the upper atmosphere?
Yes.
But Joseph just kind of falls.
On February 28th, 1939, Joseph Joestar is pronounced dead. A funeral is held consisting of his mother, Lisa, Irina Joestar, Speedwagon, Smokey, and Messina.
Okay, so he does die from that.
Yeah, but it's super obvious what happens next. Oh man, he's not dead and he has a robotic arm thanks to the Nazis. Basically, Stroheim shows up randomly and saves him, gives him a new robo arm.
Saves him at the funeral?
No, from the volcano.
Oh, so they had a funeral not being able to actually find him. Okay.
Yeah, they couldn't find his body.
So they assumed he was dead. Gotcha.
Yeah, which I just really want to point out, like, how bad the relationships are here. He was nursed back to health by Susie Q, who was Lisa's assistant, who apparently had no contact with Lisa the entire time. She was nursing him back to health, and then dating him, and then marrying him, and then them sailing back to America.
Okay. All right.
Stroheim also gets a robotic hand, because I know you guys want closure. Epilogue time. Irina lived out the rest of her life as an elementary school teacher and died in 1950 at the age of 51. Speedwagon dies 2 years later at the age of 98.
Isn't Irina...
That was Jonathan's love interest. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not supposed to say 51. It's supposed to say 81. I hit the wrong number.
Okay, I was about to say, because
yeah, that's his grandmother.
You just said...
It's supposed to say 81, and then Speedwagon is also supposed to say 88, but I hit the wrong numbers. As I said, I made this at work.
Okay.
He dies 2 years later at the age of 98 and leaves behind, 88 and leaves behind no heirs. Smokey Brown became the first black mayor of his hometown in Georgia. Stroheim dies in the Battle of Stalingrad, a hero to the Germans. Lisa moves to America and remarries in 1948. Joseph and Susie Q move back to America as well. Everybody's happy. You guys, after this whole fucking presentation.
Never forgive the Japanese. What the fuck?
Would anybody... Hey, here's bonus points for the quiz. Would anybody like to guess this character's name?
JoJo.
Would anybody like to guess this character's specific name?
Joseph Joestar.
Good job, champ. This one's Joseph.
Okay.
And then we get a to be continued screen for part 3. All right.
Groovy.
Presentation isn't over, Zod. You're right. Time for the quiz section.
Oh, man.
All right. This is going to be very easy. I'm going to give you 4 names. I'm going to show you a picture of a character. I want you to match the name with the character.
I will fuck that up royally.
All right. So this is your first character. Nobody in chat, please don't respond to this. I do want this to be a them thing.
This was Jonathan, right?
This is JoJo.
This is a new character you haven't seen yet. So your name options are Johnny Joestar, Josuke Higashikata, Jotaro Kujo, and Giorno Giovanna. Does anybody know which one this is?
Wait, if this is new season stuff, how the fuck are we supposed to know?
You're just guessing. I'm giving you 4
Well,
names.
this
and you're
isn't a
guessing.
quiz. This is just random bullshit.
It's bullying. That's right.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
guess it's a Joestar, cause
Yeah. Okay. So you think it's Johnny Joestar?
sure.
All right. Copper, would you like to answer a different answer? The other three are Josuke Higashikata, Jotaro Kujo, and Giorno Giovanna. Those are your other three options. Do you want to double up on Joestar, or do you want to go somewhere else?
Is season 3 in Japan? Because if it is, it's the first one.
Josuke?
Yeah.
All right. Season 3 is in Japan. However, it is not Josuke. This is Jotaro Kujo, or his Japanese name Kujo Jotaro, with Jojo. Yeah. All right. Next one. I gotta click on it because I clicked out. All right. New character. Is this one Josuke Higashikata, Jotaro Kujo, Johnny Joestar, or Giorno Giovanna?
I'm gonna go Giovanna.
Me too.
All
He
right.
looks like that would be.
This is also Jotaro Kujo. That's right. I juked you. This is the same character, just different parts.
This is bullying. You're right.
Yeah. All right. Next one. Is this Jotaro Kujo, Josuke Higashikata, Johnny Joestar, or Giorno Giovanna?
Let's go with Giovanna again. I don't care.
This is Josuke Higashikata.
That's what I was
The
gonna
main
guess, but you didn't
This is
ask
the main
me.
character for part 4. So this is your main character for part 3. This is him in part 4. This is the main character of part 4. This
Should
is
we-
the ensemble cast of part 5.
Should we point out the thing about the hair with the hat?
Oh, the hair with the hat hurts me a lot. So much. If we want to point
No.
out right here,
That's
the
not a
hair
hat.
turns into the hat. Also, what is his outfit?
No.
I'm pretty sure if you like hold the tailor. I want an outfit that says I love dolphins, but I also want to be able to measure angles at any point in time. Like, it's great. Also, somebody said Vanilla Ice. There actually is a Vanilla Ice character in the third part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, no meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. All right. So this is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind. This is the current airing part. There are 6 characters here. One of them is the main character. I want you to guess based on design. Their positioning actually has nothing to do with it.
Based on design?
Which one do you think is the main character based on design?
The guy in the pink.
It's the guy in the pink.
All right, you guys have seen enough pictures. Does anybody want to guess what his name is?
Something
Jojo.
Joestar.
He is he's actually not Jojo, he's Gio. He is Giorno Giovanna. So, congratulations everybody. You made it through the presentation. That was an hour long.
Congratulations, everybody. We
Yay.
can now safely kill Comfy.
You hit
Mm,
whoa,
I
not
mean,
yet.
no.
We gotta get through next week where you're gonna have to watch
Okay, so that quiz wasn't even a quiz.
No, it wasn't. It was
God.
bullying.
I was expecting a quiz, and you're just like, you know what? Here's some random bullshit. Guess.
do you
Not
want
even
a quiz?
educated guesses, just random bullshit guesses. Fuck you,
Yeah.
Comfy. You're a bad teacher.
Fuck you, Comfy.
Here, name all 4 pillar men. Go.
No. You don't
Yeah, that's
earn
right.
DC, Cars,
Mhm.
Wamu?
Yep.
Donovan,
Nope.
and Wamu.
Donovan was not one of the pillar men. I'm surprised you remembered that name because it was a
Caesar?
throwaway line. No,
No.
Caesar was Will A. Zeppeli's grandson.
But isn't Donovan one of the same race as them?
No, he was not. He was a throwaway assassin from Stroheim.
Uh,
The correct answer was Santana.
oh, yeah.
Missing Santana. Yeah, that's
No
the
misses
one.
Santana.
Damn it, Carlos.
But basically, wait. What did you just say to me?
I said, damn it, Carlos? Carlos Santana?
All right, so by now, you should be able to understand this meme. You should be able to understand this meme because he's a gentleman. Should be able to understand this meme. And this meme. but you don't know this
Okay.
or this or this or this. Like,
I don't
there's
think
a
I
lot of
understood the
things.
basics of that entire presentation.
Don't worry. I feel like
worry.
you have to go over it again with Dale privately.
No,
Just so he
no,
understands.
I never want to talk to you about this
All right,
again.
so this is Dario Brando.
No. Oh, God damn it.
That was JoJo's Bizarre PowerPoint. We're gonna be watching. So I just want to point out really quickly. I'm gonna give you a little taste of what happens next. So the first part was vampires. The second part was Aztec gods, and the third part is Pokemon battles.
Okay.
The fourth part is also Pokemon battles.
Okay.
The fifth part is also Pokemon battles. The sixth part is also Pokemon battles.
Okay.
The seventh part is also Pokemon battles. The eighth part is also Pokemon battles.
We're getting a lot of Pokemon battles.
There's a lot of Pokemon battles.
Gotcha.
It's something else entirely.
Okay.
But,
and all right.
Yeah. Well, welcome to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, this has been JoJo's Bizarre presentation, presented by Comfy. This is going to be like a special part of episode number 18. So episode 19 is going to be the first 3 episodes of season 3 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yes, before I forget, I would like episode 20 to be a episode 4 through 6 of something we've covered in the past.
Okay, did you have something in mind you wanted to go?
Did I have something in mind? I feel like next week, after we do JoJo, we should bring our idea of what we should do forward, and then we'll vote on it.
Guys, I think we should watch Fate Stay Night.
No, okay, because it would have to be like
me bring up the
episode.
Fox show. I will bring the Fox show to the table.
No,
bring the Fox
no,
to the table?
you
I'm gonna
have
bring
to
another Fate
actually
show.
do it somewhat seriously, or we're not going to do it. See, all right, let me bring up the Spotify roster real quick. I'll grab
4, 5, 6 of something we have seen.
Yeah, like something we've done. Think about it. I think that would be a good episode 20, though. You know what I mean?
What is the episode Dale hated the most?
Well, we're all going to have to agree on something.
There was a show that we loved that he hated.
Well, there was Trigon. We both loved that, and he hated it.
I wasn't here for Trigon.
Trigon was with Kai. All right, so we got Gurren
Dale
Lagann,
hates
Fate
Trigon.
Zero, Shimonita. What was Shimonita?
He hates Shimonetta.
What was Shimonita?
Which one was that? I'm
That's
awful at names.
the Dirty Jokes are banned.
Oh yeah, he.
I
Really
didn't
hated
hate.
that show.
I thought no, because I remember you guys were like, I didn't hate it, but I still wasn't gonna watch it because it made sense to be all weird and like.
All right, next. What else do we have?
Dororo, reincarnated as a slime, Promised Neverland, Gundam Iron Blood Orphans, the abridged episode, Hellsing Ultimate, Bakano, Heaven's Lost Property.
Oh, that's the one he hated.
We all hated that one.
That shit. We're not doing that shit.
See, okay, my
Fuck
thought
that show.
process when he was scrolling through it was we could do Hellsing again and do episodes 4 through 6, which he didn't like. But those are hour-long episodes.
Yeah, they're really long.
That'd be like really bad.
And then we got Stray Dogs, Braves of the Six Flowers, Rising of the Shield Hero, Dragon Maid, Demon Slayer, Fairygon. So yeah, I will look through. What the fuck was Shimona? That was Shimona. So yeah, go through that. What do you guys think? Does it sound like a good plan for episode 20, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also thinking that we could take a look at a slice of life that is on Comfy's to-do list.
Okay.
That he may be dressing as shortly. So.
Oh, all right. Well, we can talk about that
Shinobio and other things.
later.
Well, that's what it's called, right?
I think that's what the first one is called because the name changes a little bit.
Oh, dude,
there's-
same thing with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Phantom Blood, Battle Tendency, Stardust Crusaders, the fourth one, and Golden Wind.
Yeah.
His Diamond is Forever. That's what it is.
Well, I am incredibly terrified to watch JoJo now. So thank you, Comfy.
You should be.
You should be. No,
And
real talk. It's just a really weird show with a lot of really weird premises and a lot of really weird people, and it's funny.
and
So-
to all the chat out there, who watch along
Wait.
with us.
I do have a present.
we
One
are
second.
sorry.
Oh no.
All right, so this is a bit of a spoiler for one of the most recent episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So, in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, one of the trademarks that happens from the third part on is the main character using their Pokemon, which is called a stand, to repeatedly punch someone while screaming whatever their voice line is. The Jotaro, who's part 3, who's actually voiced by Matt Mercer in the dub, fun fact, so it's a good dub, he says aura. Giorno here says Muda. And in the manga, there was a 7-page Muda that lasted for about 30 seconds, and it's really interesting. Just because you get to about this point, and this just lasts for like a minute.
All right then.
Okay. Okay.
We're not done yet.
Aren't we? Oh no.
No, we're still going.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's the thing. That's called the 7-page Muda. In case anybody really was invested in that.
I
thought that was
I
a
didn't
fun
even
one to
know
show.
that was a thing.
That's a fun one.
All right. So we will be
Yeah.
coming at you next week with our thoughts on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, starting with the first 3 episodes of season 3.
Part 3. You're gonna click on the drop down menu and you're gonna pick Stardust Crusaders.
Okay. Stardust
Woo.
Crusaders. Oh man.
Also, I just
So
want to point out
excited.
the first part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is 11 episodes long. I'm sorry, 9 episodes long. The second part is 17 episodes long. Does anybody know how long Stardust Crusaders is?
40.
32.
48 episodes.
Oh my god. Yep. So we're getting like
Diamond is
almost
Forever is also 48 episodes.
great.
And Golden Wind, which is airing now, is currently only at 33. But the end is actually in sight. Weird enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
another
Well, this has
15
been
episodes.
this has been Comfy presents JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Comfy.
I'm so sorry to everyone who decided to be
Where
here.
can people find you on the internet?
So you can find me sniffing toes at the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fan forums, or you can find me on
Yeah, I don't
Mixer at
think he's lying,
mixer.com/Comfamous, twitter.com/Comfamous, Instagram.com/Comfamous, on Snapchat at Comfamous, and you can email me comfamous@gmail.com. I need a streamer link.
Yes, you do. Because you can literally just go Stimmerlink, Compliments.
Boom.
I could.
Copper, where are you at on the internet?
I'm at the same place that I was last time for those who stayed here, our last recording. You can find me online at on Mixer at Copperline, and Instagram and Twitter at Copperline Art and Copperline Designs.
Nice.
And Dale is also online, but you don't need to look him up.
Yes, I'm a piece of shit. Don't look at me. You can find me at mixer.com/Mr. Vengeance, and also on Instagram and Twitter at _Mr. Vengeance. This has been episode 18.9 of 2.5 Weebs Comfy's Bizarre Presentation. We'll see you guys next week. Have good days. Bye.